Hello Leapers, my name is Rick and I'm sailing Frog's Leap. Today, I'm sailing out of Zihuatanejo and I'm heading to Acapulco. And on October 25th, 2023, Hurricane Otis slammed into Acapulco, surprising the residents there who thought it was going to be coming ashore as a tropical storm. But no, it came ashore as a Cat 5 hurricane with 165 mile an hour winds. And Karen's gonna fly in and spend some time with me. We're not disaster tourists, but seeing as how I have this YouTube channel, I'm gonna take this opportunity to document the damage that occurred on that day. My name's Rick. I got my sea legs when I was in the Coast Guard, and I commanded a boat much like this one. Today I take my 27-foot sailboat on coastal passages in search of adventure. This season I'm heading south from La Cruz de Guanacaste. It will be my return to the Caribbean Sea via the Panama Canal. Living the pirate life. Well, you may recall from last week's episode that Piedra Blanca stands watch over the north entrance of Manzanillo. Well, when you're leaving Zihuatanejo and headed south, you've got to avoid Piedra Negra, the Black Rock. And on the mainland, we're looking at Faro Lázaro Cárdenas Lighthouse. Well, for most of this first day out of Zihuatanejo, I was motor sailing into a pretty stiff headwind. Once I got around this point of land, the weather started to calm down a bit, and the dolphins came out to play. stayed for a while, and I kept filming. Well, sunrise. I'm about 20 miles from the entrance to Acapulco, so looking forward to getting in there today. I don't know what it's going to look like. Am I going to get a slip? I don't know. Might have to anchor first, dinghy in. We'll just have to see. The wind is almost dead calm, and I'm getting ready to head into Boca Granda, the entrance, the main entrance, Boca Granda to Acapulco. There's a smaller entrance from the north you can take called Boca Chica, and it's like 1,200 feet wide. So, I mean, it's totally doable, but first time in, I'm going Boca Granda, baby. So right there you can see the gap between that island, the furthest island, and that is Boca Chica. And I'm gonna go around that island, and that takes you through the main entrance, Boca Granda. Well, it's too bad there's so much clouds right over it, but I mean, that landscape on the north side of Acapulco is really stunning, with jagged rocks. I wonder if this is where they do the cliff diving. Let's see if I can zoom in. All right, I don't know. Maybe, because see, when I leave, I'm gonna go south. So really, if I'm gonna do Boca Chica, I need to do it now. So, well, we'll see. The opportunity cost is just too great. I'm doing Boca Chica. Yeah, I got an ebb tide. I just checked. So, I'm not really interested in finding out how much current rips through there. So, I'm going to take a Boca Granda. Boca Granda. It's hard for me to imagine the current being more than a knot in there. I'm going 4.5. Even if it took a knot away from me, I'd still be fine. I think I'm going for Boca Chica. I didn't set up track lines for Boca Chica, so I'm just gonna visually calm my way through. I don't think that'll be too tough. I think the biggest question mark for me is how much current are we gonna see? So that's something that we'll keep an eye on. And I mean, I've been in some pretty high current situations before. It's possible that this is a ripper, you know, but I just think with Boca Granda, I mean, most of the water is going to come out there, you know? So I feel like it's a risk I can take. We'll see. The other thing is, you know, Boca Chica is, the strait is a mile long. So in terms of exposure to the risk, you're going to have some exposure, right? You know, but the engine's been running good and I'm not getting any weird sounds. And you know, if I had any kind of concern, I probably wouldn't do it. But I feel like it's going to be all right. I backed out kind of at the last minute because I navigate on my GPS here, which I had track lines around Boca Granda. And then I also navigate on Navionics on my phone. That can be challenging down here in the tropics because the GPS, it'll sometimes freeze. And if the phone gets hot, and woo, thankfully it did freeze a couple of times as I was making my approach. And then I was like, okay, that's all I needed to see. So yeah, if my GPS was working fine or I had programmed my Garmin in advance, I would have been fine. But everything's got to work right if you're going to try something like that. And I didn't have everything. I didn't have my ducks in a row. You got to have your ducks in a row, baby. Yeah, so there's Boca Chica. That was the idea. I'm sure it would have been fine if I could have been prepared to navigate through it. I just wasn't, and Navionics wasn't, on the iPhone anyway, it just wasn't up to it in this heat and humidity. So that's cool, no problem. Take a little more time, that's all right. Look at that. That's a sunken coastal freighter for sure. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Whoa. That's an omen. Reminds me to keep my distance. Now it looks like there are two boats there, almost like, oh, they've got boom around it, containment boom. I think they lost the coastal freighter, and then they also lost a tugboat that was trying to help it. That's what it looks like to me. That's crazy. You can see there, that's distinctly two different vessels. Wow. Oh yeah, there's the city of Acapulco. Pretty much in full view right there. Wow. If you look closely, you can see there's a rock by those towers. Isla La Roqueta. See if I can zoom in on it. It's hard to see, but as I get closer, there you can kind of tell right there in the center. Yeah. Well, that's definitely another one on the rocks, for sure. And that is on the south end of Boca Chica. So makes me think maybe it was a good idea I didn't go in there. Well, I'm safely tucked into the northwest corner of the bay off of the port captain's office. I'm going to go pick up Karen. So thanks for watching this episode of Sailing Frog's Leap. Be sure to tune in next week. Karen and I are going to check out Acapulco. For real-time updates, check out Sailing Frog's Leap on Instagram.